Okay, so we understand IoT and associated technologies. So let us understand the concept of technical deviations from the regular web. So for example, if you take the IoT, what is the layers and how the different types of protocols that was there in different types of layers. So that is starting from physical layer, and then we have a network layer and session layer, and finally we have presentation layers. We have four types of layers are there. So let us consider both the things with web as well as IoT. So what type of differences we are using here. So if you consider the web stack, so generally in the physical layer, so there is an Ethernet, DSL, ISDN, wireless LAN, Wi-Fi was there for the purpose of the communication and transferring of data in the form of binaries, in the form of frames to the upper layers. Generally, all the data, there are different types of data communication layers that was there to send the data to the network layer, uh, in the network layer. So there are different types of protocols that was used in web stack. If you see here, like IPv6, IPv4, IPsec, and the previous in the earlier days, we have IP security protocols, IPv4 protocol, IPv6 protocol. There are different types of protocols that was used for the web application. If you consider at the left side, we have an IoT stack. In IoT stack, we have at the bottom, that is physical layer, we have IEEE 802.15.4. So for Mac, this is the one of the important protocol we will discuss very great detail in the upcoming lessons regarding IEEE 802.15.4 media access control. And so 802.15.4 physical and radio wave technology. So radio technology, we uses these two things. The basic difference here is in generally we are talking regarding internet of things. In internet of things, we have a in physical layer we have a basic protocol that was IEEE 802.15.4. This was a protocol. Using this, we have two different types of communication protocols, communication purposes. One is by representing the MAC addresses. Another one is using the radio technology, radio wave technology, uh, for uh, uh, for providing the data in the form of binary. Okay. And next thing here, if you see, while compared to web stack, we have IPv6 6LoWPAN was there at the network layers, in the upper layers. So 6LoWPAN was one of the protocol we used in the network layer for the purpose of low power communications. Whenever we are talking regarding low power areas, so one in a very less power will be consumed whenever we are using this type of protocol. And IPv6, regarding IPv6 protocol, we know that, so whenever we are using IPv6, it is used to assign IP address for each and every device in a particular network, whatever network you are using, that may be a LAN, WAN, PAN, etc. Similarly, here also in web applications we have IPsec, IP4, IPv6 was there. Here IPv6 and 6LoWPAN type of things was used, means protocols was used. and come to the other layer, you can also say that is the part of the network layer or session layer, you can say. In that, we have TCP and UDP protocols was used in web stack. If you right side part, we have TCP and UDP protocols. That was transmission control protocol and user datagram protocol was used. One is for wireless communication. We use the user datagram protocol. Another one is transmission control protocol. We use it in the wired communication whenever we are going for the web stack. In the same way, whenever we are considering the IoT stack, so in IoT framework, we have UDP and DTL protocols was used. So one is for wired communication. Generally, we are talking regarding user datagram protocol. So always the packets will be sent over network. So that is always in the wireless communication only, UDP. And for small wired connections DTLs was used in IoT stack. It is a type of protocol that was associated with various IoT devices in network layer for the wired communication. So generally IoT devices are not in uh, wired communications generally. So lots of IoT devices are in normally it was a wireless communication. That's why we are generally using the user datagram protocol. Sometimes we will use some other type of protocols for accurate results. And next, if you consider in the web stack, we have this like after network layer, we have the presentation layer and application layer was there. So in the presentation layer, we have different types of protocols that was used like HTTP, DHCP, DNS, TLS and SSL protocol was used. You people already know whenever you are studying regarding web applications. HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and DHCP is Dynamic Host Control Protocol, which is used to assign IP addresses to each and every device in a particular network automatically. So that is DHCP. HTTP protocol was used for web request and web response. If you make the request to the web server, so then we are using the HTTP protocol. And for the security purpose, we are using TLS and SSL protocol, secure socket layer protocol, for the certificate, getting certificate from the web server. That means it is telling that encrypted data will be encrypted in the communication channel. And we use different types of environments like HTML, hypertext markup language, which consisting of predefined tags, which is used to design the application, web application. And XML is extensible markup language, which is used for the purpose of three purposes actually. If you consider the HTML, it is only for the designing purpose. You can only design the web page. Whenever you are considering the XML, it is used to describe the data, it is used to transfer the data, it is used to store the data. So XML, a well-defined tags, that is a user-defined tags. You can define your own tags to store the data. You can describe the data, particular data. You can also transfer the particular data from one place to another place. That is possible through XML. And come to the JSON, that means JavaScript object notation. So it is the one of the important environment, one of the important application layer level, so which is used in applications. Whenever we are transferring the data from one area to another area, there is there is called some bandwidth is high whenever we are using an XML. Because if you consider, I want to transfer my name in XML, we will apply tag name. Name will be name is a tag. Under that, Rajesh is the data, and name tag is closed. Actually, how much of, actually I want to transfer this XML data from one place to another place, then actually how much of word length is processing in the communication. So because name opening tag, name closing tag, in between actually actual data, the three things is transferred from one area to another area. If you use the JSON JavaScript object notation, there is no problem like this. Directly you can transfer the data without not that much of length. You can simply give a name column, the original name. So there is lots of bandwidth, word length was going to be reduced in the networks whenever we are considering the JSON, JavaScript object notation. And the same thing was there in IoT stack. If you take an IoT stack, we have some other protocols not like HTTP and DHCP, what we understand it in web stack. So we have MQTT, message queue telemetry transfer. It is the one of the protocol. So that means it is also similarly like request response, that is HTTP request we are giving in web application. We are getting exact HTTP response from the web server. So that is HTTP, HTML in web application. But if you consider the IoT stack, then what happened here is there is message queue telemetry transfer. So a message broker was there in that is a queue. So how many subscribers will there? They will subscribe auto whenever subscribe, that will be maintained in a particular queue. Based on the subscription, we are providing the service. Okay, substrate transmit protocol, that is okay. We will discuss detailedly whenever we are understanding MQTT. Message queue telemetry transfer. It is the one of the protocol we used at the presentation and application layers for the purpose of storing the number of requests. It is the one of the protocol. Similarly, we have a constrained constrained application protocol. The meaning of constrained application protocol, where we are using a particular nodes in a particular network, they want the same configuration with same type of data have to be transferred. At that particular time, we will use the constrained application protocols. A constrained node with constrained network. So whenever we are choosing a constrained node with constrained application to transfer from one network to another network. That means one network is having one device, another network is having another device. The network one device is used to transfer the data from one area to another area through proper configuration. Same are using the same type of configurations and uh, same type of application, you can say. Then one node in a one network using same type of configuration, another node in another device, another network is using same type of network configurations and other configurations. They want to communicate it with each other. At that particular time, we will use constrained application protocol. Similarly, we have extensible message precise protocol, XMPP. So it is also one of the protocol we use it for the purpose of data describing and transferring purpose. Extensible message precise protocol. So that means, so in so many cases we are used to describe the data for the end applications. At that particular time, we are using this type of protocol in IoT devices. And next is advanced message queue protocols. So which is this type of protocol we will use in presentation and application layers of IoT environment. For the purpose of encryption or what that we can say asynchronous messaging will transfer whenever we are choosing any communication layer. So that is the thing here. And if you considered and upper here, there are different types of JSON and constrained binary representation, object binary object representation, CBOR, JSON, and binary type of environments we are using there in different IoT applications. IoT application includes the mobile, web, Windows, etc. So generally, if you consider the IoT stack and web stack, there is a lot of differences between the protocols what we are using. And here in IoT stack, we are using the application for two different purposes. That may be a management because you can monitor, manage, organize, and manipulate the data. So that will be stored in the cloud. At the same time, the application will be maintained by the end users. So the both application and management will be done through IoT in IoT. While compared to in web application, we can only maintain the application that is a web application that will be resides in the web server. So that is basic deviations between technical deviations between the web and IoT. Please remember the concept of this.